Tonight, the story of a man who almost lost his life fighting for our country. Well, now he's caught up in a surprise battle on the front steps of the Bernalillo County Courthouse, all because of the smartphone that helps him hear. This war veteran says he was forced to make a pretty tough decision. And now it appears that's not going to happen again after Corps investigator Nathan O'Neill started asking some questions.
Come on. Sometimes our veterans come home with disabilities that are not so obvious on the outside.
He breaks up my PTSD massively.
Ron Portillo is a decorated war veteran. He served 24 years in the military, first the Marines, then the Army. His final tour overseas was in 2007, Fallujah, Iraq.
I was hit by a roadside bomb. All of my people passed away except for myself. I was paralyzed for 3 months. I couldn't walk. I couldn't speak for a while. I lost the peripheral vision in my right eye. I lost my hearing.
It's been a long road to recovery. Just 2 months ago, the VA gave Ron these high-tech hearing aids controlled by his smartphone.
These were issued to me by the government, and this app is required to control my hearing aids, ambient sound, feedback.
The hearing aids are supposed to improve his quality of life, but just last month, it became the center of controversy. Ron says that he showed up to the Bernalillo County District Court to file his last will and testament, but he says when he tried to go inside, sheriff's deputies told him he could not enter, at least not with his cell phone.
And I explained to him, I said, I need to come in with my cell phone because it controls my hearing aids. I need this. This is my disability. He says, well, you're not disabled.
But this letter provided by Ron's doctor lays out his dependence on VA-issued hearing aids that allow for better communication.
Oh, by all means. My federal rights were violated.
We took his concerns to the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office, the agency in charge of guarding the courthouse. This individual claimed that his rights were violated in this incident. What is your response to something like that?
So, to my knowledge, this individual was not denied access to our courthouse. He actually did store his phone, and he was able to conduct his business inside our courthouse. So I don't believe that that is true.
Now, to be clear, Ron was allowed access inside the courthouse, but because he was not able to take his phone inside, he was not able to adjust his hearing aids, and Ron says that's the real problem. Deputy Felicia Maggard says their priority is keeping the courthouse safe, screening upwards of 50,000 people per month.
However, if in the future, if he comes back into our courthouse, we're happy to make accommodations for him to meet his needs that are reasonable.
Right now, court policy prevents members of the public from taking cell phones inside the courthouse, a policy intended to protect sensitive information like the identity of jurors and victims.
The Sheriff's Office does not set the rules for what can and cannot be brought into the courthouse. We are here to enforce those rules. These rules are set by the Chief Judge.
The Americans with Disabilities Act requires reasonable accommodations for people with disabilities. Ron believes allowing his cell phone through would have been a reasonable accommodation, especially since attorneys, court staff, and members of the media can enter with cell phones. In a statement, a court spokesperson told us the court is, quote, committed to providing services, programs, and activities in a way that assures accessibility. The court also has an ADA coordinator and has provided ADA training to court staff. But Ron says his disability should never have been questioned in the first place.
Now, how many other people with disabilities do they hassle?
Shortly after we started asking questions, Ron received this email alerting him that court officials are now taking immediate action to ensure they are in full compliance with all of their obligations under the ADA.
I lost my high pitch completely.
For Ron, it's a small victory, but he still wants accountability, especially for the sheriff's deputy who gave him trouble.
I'd like an formal apology, and I'd like people with disabilities that go through there and all the other courts treat it with respect.
Nathan O'Neill,
Good boy.
4 Investigates.